So you're thinking about moving to Augusta, Georgia, but before you do, you want to know what maybe the cost of living or lifestyle differences would be from one suburb to the other, because we've talked a lot about proximity. Maybe if if your employer matters and you're going to be at Fort Gordon, well, then you might want to look at Grovetown and Evans. But if you're working remotely, you're moving from California, Canada, New York, Chicago, or anywhere else, and it doesn't necessarily matter. And maybe you looked and you saw that Money Magazine that Evans, Georgia was like the #1 place to live. But you're curious, is it Evans or should it be Martinez or Grovetown? We're going to cover all of that stuff, and we're going to do it in this video. So let's get after it right now. Hey, if this is your first time to the channel and you want to know everything there is to know about eating, sleeping, working, playing, the good and the bad of living in Augusta, Georgia, or in this case, Evans or Martinez or Grovetown or one of the suburbs, well then subscribe below and ring the bell for notifications so you can be the first to know about the updated market here in Georgia. My name's Denny. The team and I, we get calls each and every day from people just like you looking to make the move to Georgia, and we absolutely love it. So whether you're moving next week, next year, or anytime in between, call, email, text, schedule a Zoom. Be happy to help you make a smooth move to Georgia. Like I said, in this video, we're going to tackle maybe those nuanced differences, the cost of living between one suburb and the other. We're not going to talk about groceries and transportation and that kind of stuff because it's about the same. But what we are going to talk about are really the housing differences and the overall cost of living between one suburb and the next. And we're going to do it from the perspective of saying that maybe, let's say you make about $65,000 a year and you live in Evans. And since Money Magazine said Evans was #1, we're going to compare Evans to Augusta, to Grovetown, to Martinez, see how much you would need to make in those respective areas and how far your money will go. So having said that, let's start with Evans to Augusta. Listen, if you make $65,000 a year in Evans, you could make just $49,000 a year living in Augusta and maintain that same lifestyle. And it's not that there aren't affluent places in Augusta. There is. But there's also more poverty in Augusta as well. So you have a bigger demographic diversity and difference between the haves and the have-nots. And so with that, the overall cost of living in Augusta is lower because you can find some of that lower priced housing, whereas Evans tends to be more affluent, less poverty, and so the overall median is higher. So again, $49,000 in Augusta, maintain the same lifestyle as you would need $65,000 in Evans. And that's because the housing in Augusta is 54% less than it is in Evans. $175,000 lower median home price in Augusta versus Evans. So maybe something to consider. I grew up in the Augusta, Martinez, Evans, been all over as a kid and a young adult, and there's pros and cons to all of it, but I loved the Evans area, and I'm sure you will too. So is it worth it? Well, I don't know. Let's talk about, what about Martinez? Well, in order to live the same lifestyle in Martinez that you need in Evans, you only need $55,000 versus $65,000. So that's a significant difference. The housing is 35% less in Martinez. That's $109,000 less than the median home price in Evans. And so you can get a lot more bang for your buck in the Martinez area than you can Evans. It's kind of like that middle ground between Augusta and Evans. And but it's older, well-established, well-developed, very mature, all those things in Martinez. Whereas if you go over to Grovetown, it's similar. You're going to need $57,000 a year, so almost the same as Martinez. So Augusta is more affordable. Evans and Martinez are very, very similar. The Martinez and Grovetown are very similar. Grovetown housing is 27.8% less, just $80,000 less the median home value. So Grovetown's and Martinez are going to be more affordable than Evans, and then Evans is going to be the most expensive, but I think that's a relative term. The reason they were named #1 place in America to live is because of their affordability. You have high paying jobs. The median I've talked about $65,000. The median household income in Evans is $110,000, which is a lot for a place where the median home value is like $300,000. So significant. Evans is $312,000. So there's a lot of opportunity to go along with those cost of living in Evans. So it's all relative. But if your income is set because you're going to keep your employment, and maybe you're working remotely, you're moving across the country, well, then hopefully that gives you a little insights into how much house you can get or what your daily life might look like in those different areas. As usual, drop comments below. We're always looking for feedback, and our viewers appreciate it. If you aren't already, subscribe and ring that bell for notifications. And of course, if you're making the move, call, text, email, schedule a Zoom. Happy to help you make a move to one of these fabulous areas of Georgia. And until I see you in person, hopefully I'll see you on the next episode.